Hey everybody, it's Rob here with the developer stream coming on mid-season and a lot of people on the forums discussing about class balance. I wanted to go in here and show you guys and listen again to what they said a couple months ago about how a mid-season patch would look directly from the developers here and yeah, see what we can expect here for the upcoming campfire chat and all the fixes and buffs to classes. So let's get into it.
So the first thing is we want to bring back previous season fan favorites. You know, one of the nice things about a seasonal kind of...
And they already confirmed this, right? They confirmed this, that they're gonna have the vampiric power comeback. But that's pretty cool. Vampiric powers are maybe coming back in some way. I'm hoping for metamorphosis, revenues, and these kind of things.
Model for a game is that we can experiment with things and then bring back the things that work. So an example of where we did this before was the Malignant Reigns. You know, a lot of
this is basically what we can expect, guys, from the mid-season patch that's happening here soon.
Malignant Hearts in Season 1 had really cool designs that people really liked and got attached to. And we were able to bring that back in the form of unique reigns, right? Going forward, we think that the way that we bring back these designs could be legendaries, uniques, or even other ways, right? Like we can maybe just add it as Paragon nodes or passives or actives.
Yo, that would be cool, man. Just imagine have metamorphosis as a Paragon node or something, man. This is gonna happen in a few days, guys.
Ways, skill tree. We don't really want to be limited to it must always be uniques or it must always be legendaries. But what we do want to limit ourselves to is that we definitely want to promise that we can do one thing per class. And we also think that we can pull from all seasonal designs, not only from the previous season, right?
So we'll also expect this. One cool thing per class. Legendary, uniques, in certain other ways. At least one per class. I'm hoping that Necromancer or something gets metamorphosis, man. It really needs Source of Unstoppable and more movement speed somehow. That'd be nuts.
The design of the power mechanic of
Sorcerer could get Ravenous. That would be pretty cool. Ravenous on Sorcerer. Let me guys know in the comments what you think, which powers each class could get, man. I mean, Ravenous for Sorcerer, Metamorphosis for Necro, and the Overpower one for Barb, maybe. Blood Boil, I think it was called. Blood Boil for Barb. Then out of the others, I'm not really so sure.
Of a season doesn't really fit into something that's evergreen for players, then we don't want to be limited to trying to shoehorn it in. We may just bring back, you know, maybe a lot of Malignant Hearts or a lot of Blood Seals. People really got attached to. We don't want to be limited to like, oh, we can only bring back 4 or 5 things, and then we can never bring more. So we're just gonna kind of look like what happened in the past and people liked, and then bring
cool,
some
man.
of those things back. And then the balance updates, we also want to do this in the mid-season patch. The scope of this will be smaller compared to the beginning of the season. And we also want to do other game updates, you know, like I said before, to monsters, systems, drop rates, and some of those things. We also want to try mix in a lot of buffs for each class.
So smaller amount compared to start of season. So they're not going to do many balance changes, but they might do some. And they talked about it in the announcement for the live stream, that they're going to talk about balance changes.
And then we will be doing bug fixes, and these will be both buffs and nerfs, and we'll go into a little more detail of that in a minute. And then we're really going to try and hit this goal. No promises. These are
some buffs for each class, guys. Yes, every class is going to get something cool. I don't remember all of this, guys. This was like already January. I think beginning of the year. So pretty cool for a refresher here and to kind of see what we're going to get on Thursday.
They're famous last words for me, but you know, we want to try and do few to no nerfs that really aren't bugs.
Famous last words, yeah. Few/no nerfs that aren't bugs. So how is Charge Barb bugged? Tell me. It just is fun, man.
And our kind of thinking and philosophy.
Okay, I mean, we talked about that on Hoda, where the Hoda was just getting the rune for free, man. And the bug fixed that, thank God. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe they'll address some things. But like, the only really bug that is in the game right now is the weapon mastery with a crossbow on Rogue. That basically adds times 4 DPS. That's why all these ranged Rogues are hitting for like, I think I've seen like 4 billion hits on the Rogue. So it's pretty nuts. So that's definitely a nerf I would expect, the weapon mastery passive on Rogue. But I'm not really sure what else. I mean, you guys can let me know here in the comments. What do you think?
Here is that we know that unlike the beginning of a season, players spent a lot of time farming for these things, and we don't want you to be scared of making powerful stuff and then knowing that we're going to take it away if it's too strong, right?
Dude, 100%, man. It can't just be too powerful. And people have been farming you know, for this patch, and they've been farming on their, like, I don't know, their Hoda Barb for a long time now, like over a month. And then when the gauntlet is coming out, it's getting a nerf, and all these things were for nothing. That's a bit of a slippery slope, but we'll see. No nerfs that aren't bugs, we hope.
And we want to have a sense of permanence.
Just a bad feeling if you like farm for a build that is strong right now, and then just before like the mid-season patch, it just gets nerfed.
It's when you start a season that you can try and target something that's cool and then finish it. But you know, sometimes we need to if something's way too far out of control, particularly now that we have the gauntlet coming in. And our plan is to really broadcast the nerfs, whether they're design or bug fixes, before the mid-season update, so that you have an idea of what's coming, so that you can adjust your builds and play accordingly.
Yeah, that's really cool. So we'll probably get patch notes even on the, you know, on the 29th or like a day after sometimes. And then obviously the gauntlet will come a bit later, so you have some time, if there is really some nerf or bug fix to your build, to adjust at least, right? So they'll be very open about this stuff. But I already feel like this communication, or just in general, like the timeline is just so delayed, man. Like this has been like, you know, delayed like 3 times or something like this now, that it's like just so late, and people are really running out of things to do in Diablo 4 right now. There's basically no endgame content in the game right now. And yeah, there's also many other games out there, so a lot of people say, like, you know, why would I play Diablo 4 right now? Like, what is there to do? You know, how can I even challenge my character? And yeah, there's definitely a lot of truth to that, right?
So now let's give a couple examples here of kind of, you know, if these things had existed in Season 3 and beyond, how would we think about and how would we handle these in a mid-season patch?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, in Season 2, like I mentioned before, the Hammer of the Ancients, this upgrade, Violent Hammer of the Ancients, was just always being applied, right? Basically, overpower builds were just getting 30% more multiplicative damage for free. It was a bug, not intended at all. This is something that we would fix in a mid-season patch. So, like, if this happened in Season 3, you could expect that in a mid-season patch, we would bug fix this, and, you know, that would be a nerf to that build. On the other hand, a little bit more complicated one. So if you remember Ossified Essence, you Necromancer players, this was your key passive, and it was really, really, really good. It basically says that your bone skills deal more damage based on each point of essence you have.
Yeah, they nerfed this quite a lot. I mean, it's just like one of the reasons why Necro is like, not that great right now.
50. The gameplay here that we had intended was, you know, you try and increase your mass essence, which is a fun little itemization game that you have. But then you also have some gameplay of trying to only cast and then get back to max as soon as you can. So you care about resource regen.
Oh man, Barb is so strong, man. You better nerf the Necromancer some more.
Like, there's all these cool gameplay and itemization things going on. What we didn't anticipate, though, was that players would get as much max essence as they were able to, or that they were able to keep it as high as they were able to. And those were really just oversights on our part. So then in Season 2, you know, we nerfed this by 50%, a whopping 50%. And I still think this is probably one of the strongest key passives in the game. That's how good it was. It's really good. But, you know, it still keeps all the gameplay that it had before.
Just like Unbridled Rage.
So what if this existed in Season 3? Well, here, this would kind of be more of a question mark for us. We may fix it in the mid-season patch. We would definitely fix it at the start of next season. But technically, this is a very good take, just something that
it's fair.
Is just really strong. That we.
It's like Charge Barb, you know. It's not bugged. I mean, they intentionally buffed Charge Barb, and I think they did great, especially like with the cooldown reduction, the way it works. It's just a lot more fun now. You know, they didn't just, you know, they didn't just like only increase the damage, right? They also like changed the mechanic to be a lot more engaging and frankly just a lot more fun for the player.
Kind of had an oversight about. Here we would be looking at, you know, community feedback. How badly is it warping the meta? Are other builds of Necromancer really not able to function at all because this one is so much better? We'd be looking at more things like that are qualitative types of feedback, and then make a judgment call there. And, you know, in these cases, this is where it gets really noodly. Sometimes we may be wrong, but we're going to really try and lean on the side of not changing unless we really feel like it's needed to keep the game healthy. So, again, kind of a recap, a TLDR. First, our strategy here with players is to communicate early and communicate often. We want to let you know, particularly when it comes to nerfs, what's coming and really what we're thinking. And then again, at the start of the season,
I hope they do that, man. That's good.
You can expect some new content in the form of legendaries and uniques.
I just hope we're going to get buffs, man.
We'll also be getting some more in-depth balance.
People have been, like, you know, playing their builds, and they've been wanting to play this in the Gauntlet, but They just couldn't yet because the gauntlet has been delayed and delayed and delayed. So now we have this balance patch like with the gauntlet or right before the gauntlet. We'll see.
Updates, including design updates to things that we feel we could do better at.
But yeah, that was basically the video, guys. Here they already posted this in like about a month ago. They talked about this, but I had forgotten exactly like what this means, especially like the mid-season patch update. And I think it can give us some pretty good ideas of what to expect here on this Thursday and what they will do. I think it's fair. Like they basically don't really want to do any nerfs that are not bugs. And currently, I mean, aside from the rogue weapon mastery, I don't really think we have any, significant bugs that impact the power of builds. I mean, we do have the snapshots, and I really hope that they consider this snapshot stuff, at least some of it, a bug, and don't allow this for the gauntlet. I think it would be very bad in general, and just encourages you to like item switch and gear switch even more than people have already done in Abattoir of Zir, right? So I really hope that like, part of these delays are like fixing and nerfing like all these like weird mechanics that just allow you to completely cheese, the way on the leaderboards. But, once they are leaderboards, guys, we are very, human nature is very competitive in general, especially if there's the leaderboards. People will, take every advantage and every edge they can get if it is allowed, or if it's still, possible in the gauntlet. Like if they just lock all the gear, they lock all the skills, they lock all the Paragon, you can't switch it, that would probably be a very easy change, just like they did it in Diablo 3 with Greater Rifts. But yeah, I'm excited for the update here that's gonna hit on Thursday. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. But yeah, I think it's gonna be exciting, and I'll keep you updated. Take care, my friends. GG. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.